The line that you're reading sits inside the national anthem. It literally celebrates our enslaved ancestors being killed, and it mocks their attempts to escape slavery. Yet most African Americans never hear it because it stays hidden and no one ever sings it. But in this video, I lay out the history behind this hateful lyric that's in our national anthem. Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education in Justice. If you have an African American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. Several weeks ago, I heard CeCe Winans sing the national anthem at a Detroit Lions football game. And she brought all of her customary soul and blues and gospel and all of that to that song. It was a powerful performance. But I just wondered if she really understood the history behind the song. And I think the same thing when it comes to African American people generally. Do we really understand? And I'm not trying to cause anybody not to stand or not to honor the national anthem or the troops or the flag or any of that. I'm just saying you should know the history of that song before you stand and honor it, because it has a racist history. And I want to show you that in this video. Let's go to another screen. So this is the gentleman who wrote the song. His name is Francis Scott Key. Francis Scott Key. He was a huge supporter of slavery. Now, some accounts say that he fought against slavery in court as an attorney, but no, don't let that mislead you. This man was a huge supporter of enslaving our ancestors. And he's the one, again, who wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. This man right here. And let me tell you that the song is racist. Now, they don't sing the racist part of it, but I'm going to read it to you in this video, and you'll see for yourself. All right, let's go. Now, Colin Kaepernick, we all remember him. I honor this young brother. He stood, he took a huge risk, and he lost big standing up for our people because he would kneel when they sung the Star-Spangled Banner, the national anthem. And it was then that some people began to learn the racist history behind the song. And the white community hated it. They hated it because they want us to honor our own enslavement or the enslavement of our ancestors. And if you won't do it, if you refuse to do it, they will try to cancel you. And that's what happened with this brother. But he wasn't the first. He was not the first athlete to stand against the national anthem. Someone decades before he did it also did it. That was Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson. So I'm going to read you something here that he wrote in his memoir. He said, "There I was, the black grandson of a slave, the son of a black sharecropper, part of a historic occasion, a symbolic hero to my people. The air was sparkling, the sunlight was warm. The band struck up the national anthem. The flag billowed in the wind. It should have been a glorious moment for me as the stirring words of the national anthem poured from the stands. Perhaps it was, but then again, perhaps the anthem could be called a theme song for a drama called The Noble Experiment. Today, as I look back on that opening game of my first World Series, I must tell you that it was Mr. Ricky's drama and that I was only a principal actor. As I write this 20 years later, I cannot stand and sing the anthem. I cannot salute the flag. I know that I'm a black man in a white world. In 1972 and 1947, at my birth in 1919, I know that I never had it made. Those were his words many, many decades before Colin Kaepernick. So a little background on the song itself. It was written about the War of 1812, when America and Britain fought over trade and land and who would control the Atlantic. And Britain blocked the U.S. ships and seized American sailors, and the war also protected slavery. Again, this was 1812. And as we know, slavery powered the American economy. It was the foundation of the American economy. And Britain offered freedom to enslaved Africans who would fight with the British. And quite naturally, thousands of our ancestors took that offer and ran toward British to help them fight in this war. And so what they were really doing was escaping slavery, trying to gain their freedom. And it was against that backdrop, in that context, that Francis Scott Key wrote this anthem. While black people fought to escape chains and earn freedom through this war. So when you stand for the national anthem, you should know the history of the song. You should know what it's all about. So that when the tears pour, if they pour, so that when you hold your hand over your heart, take your hat off, just know the history of the song in the moment. Not telling you not to do it, not condemning you for doing it. It's up to you. But again, you should at least know the history. And the people who sing it, the African American people who sing it, they too should know the history. And some great black entertainers have sung that song, right? In my opinion, the greatest has been Whitney Houston. And the coolest has been Marvin Gaye. The most soulful, again, CeCe Winans. And many others have sung it. Many other great black singers. I just want us to know the history behind the song. And in a nutshell, again, it celebrates as our endeared and enslaved ancestors fought for their freedom. Now, let's look at the lyrics. And with that history now, you should be able to understand it better. So, oh, say, can you see, by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Again, keep in mind, this war is raging as our enslaved ancestors were actually fighting for their freedom. Not to just help the British win, but to fight to escape chattel slavery, to escape bondage. Keep that in mind. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and home of the brave? What free are we talking about? Certainly not black men and women and children. They were not free. This was 1812. This was in the heyday of chattel slavery. This was over 50 years before our ancestors gained their independence. So I don't know who Mr. Francis Scott Key was talking about when he talked about the land of the free. Certainly not for black people in the home of the brave. So we just need to know what this all means. But the kicker here is in this third part of this song. Here's what it says. On the shore dimly seen, through the mist of the deep, where the foe's haughty host in dread silence repose. What is that which the breeze o'er the towering steep, as it fitfully blows, half conceals, half discloses? Now it catches the gleam of the morning's first beam. In the full glory reflected now shines in the stream. 'Tis the star-spangled banner, O long may it wave, o'er the land of the free, in the home of the brave. There it goes again. And where's that band who so vauntingly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should leave us no more? Their blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and the slave. No refuge could save the hireling and the slave. That is a direct reference to our enslaved ancestors as they fought courageously for their freedom, for their independence, for their dignity, for their humanity, for their families. He celebrated while they anguished in this war, fighting to get rid of the chains that enslaved them. No refuge could save the hireling enslaved from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. So he's mocking their potential death, again, as they fought for freedom from bondage. And the star-spangled banner in triumph doth wave over the land of the free in the home of the brave. So he said that, home of the brave, the land of the free. He said that 3 or 4 times there. But there was no freedom for our people. He mocked our people. Said there was no refuge, no freedom, no escape from the grave for our ancestors. You see what I'm saying? And here, so many of us get so emotional when we hear the national anthem. We get so emotional. When Whitney Houston, again, I think the greatest performance of the national anthem, when she sung that song 30 years ago, I'm not sure. Oh, wow, did she sing it. And I heard again, a little bit, not all, a little bit of CeCe Winans. And, they were good friends. Both of them grew up in the church. Both of them had that gospel flavor and tone. And they brought all that to bear on this song. Now, I'm not mocking them. I'm not trying to be disrespectful for them, because we've all celebrated the national anthem, not really knowing the history of it. We've all done that. So I'm just pointing out how they have used our own enslavement and trauma to mock us, and then to cancel anyone who does not participate in that mocking. And you just need to know this. You just need to know it. You just need to be aware. And then if you, as a matter of conscience, as Jackie Robinson said, cannot stand, cannot salute the song and flag and all that, then that's your prerogative, and you should be left alone, and no white person should have anything to say to you about your choice after learning what this song is all about. But of course, they still will, as they did Colin Kaepernick, who took the occasion to advocate for justice and against police brutality and generally systemic racism. And he paid a heavy price for it. But I salute that brother to this day, Mr. Colin Kaepernick. I salute the brother. All right. Not only was he a great quarterback who could have and should have, in my opinion, won the Super Bowl that year against the Baltimore Ravens. I think Joe Flacco took it. But Colin Kaepernick took the 49ers all the way to the Super Bowl. So he was a very, very, very talented quarterback, and yet never got another chance for doing one thing: standing up for justice for African-American men in particular, who at that time were being slaughtered by police officers. Anyway, I salute you. I salute you, Colin Kaepernick. So now you know a little bit more about the national anthem. You know a little bit about the history. Do your own research. Find out more about the War of 1812, more about Francis Scott Key, more about Colin Kaepernick, Jackie Robinson, as he stood up against the tyranny that has been our life here in America since the 17th, 16th, 17th century. All right, I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. And when you watch the next football game and they sing the national anthem, I guarantee you, you're going to have another perspective. All right, go ahead and honor it and stand and be respectful. I'm not telling you not to do that, but at least you know. And as always, stay woke.